What is up, Facebook and YouTube family? As you can tell by my voice, I am hoarse. Um, and that's because I just woke up. Literally, just woke up maybe a few minutes ago. And I had this message that I wanted to record last night, but I didn't. I started, doing other things. And, but I think did it connect to another message? I'm not really sure, and I don't have the cards out right now, but basically, Spirit is saying that the masses need to begin to really analyze their beliefs, you know. But I'm just going to give the key points and the instructions that I felt I received. Afro people, you need to build an altar. How you do that, you just find a space, a flat space, maybe like a bookshelf that doesn't, long bookshelf or something, because that's what I have mine on, that don't have a lot of, that don't have anything on it. You get you a white cloth, preferably natural material. So a white cloth made of cotton, perhaps, or linen, and get you some Florida water. I believe Walmart even sells it at this time. So you can get you some Florida water. You can get you a small, like, little bowl. Preferably all of the things you use should be natural. If you can. Copper and such. So I would get that Florida water. I will, pour some in my hand, sprinkle it over that white cloth or whatever, just to kind of cleanse the energy. I would purchase some sage or some frankincense and myrrh resins, 7 African resins, whatever, your heart leads you to when you go to the botanicas or whatever. Get you some resins, some coals. If you don't want to do that, then, sage can work just fine. Get you some sage. I want you to, burn the sage. Every time you burn sage and smudge, your home or anything, you want to open a window that leads outside or a door, so that all of the negative, all of the opposing energies can leave, right? You don't want to burn sage and the windows and everything closed, and you have all these opposing energies just running crazy trying to find a way out, and and they're stuck in. So you want to open a window or your front door if that's available. So sage the area, sprinkle some Florida water, sage yourself as well. Sprinkle some Florida water on that white cloth. Sorry. Wrong one. I'm feeling the urge to burn some sage myself. So one moment. And working with sage is probably a good idea to invest in like a torch lighter. Otherwise, the only way you're going to be able to really light it good once you've burnt it once before is to use a stove or something. this is good. I hadn't burned sage in a while. Lately I've been using resins. And so this is how you want to sage yourself. You want to sage your arms, neck, and of course you're going to take that on down. And be careful, sometimes the little embers can fall off. So you want to be very careful with that. Sage your arms, torso, your legs. And you do this standing up, of course. You want to sage behind your back to remove the knives out of your back. No, you never know who's talking shit behind your back. I'm hoping that doesn't. So you sage your body. Sage the area where your altar and things are. Alright. And then if you have any pictures of your past loved ones, you want to get those and place them on your altar, because, you know, your ancestors are saying it's time for you. We're just waiting on you. We're waiting on you to call out to us. Your ancestors want you to build this altar so that they can come in and to aid you during this time, because things is kind of crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get back to the ways of our ancestors, and we need to honor them, because they are there to help us. Also, get you a white or black 7-day candle. Those are the easiest to kind of get started with. A white candle you can use for pretty much anything. Black candles are to help rid you of negative energies as well, to remove, any blockages or any, things like that. So, and look, we have here the Arcturians came out, and this is definitely in this galactic deck of mine, one of my cards that denote the ancestors. It says feeling safe, wisdom keepers, and concern. Our ancestors are concerned right now, and we need, their help. We need to call them in. Look at that, Merkaba. A Merkaba, some people give it the assignment of being like a spaceship. If you can see this woman on here, you can't really see, but there's a woman and she's inside your Merkaba, and that's something when you want to astral travel or anything like that, you will want to imagine yourself within a Merkaba, so because it represents as above, so below. So the triangle, you see, it's 2 triangles. So this one represents, the 3D is us, and then this triangle coming down represents spirit. So it comes down, this other one comes up, and it encases the body, and you imagine it spinning around you. You can use this as a healing portal. You can sit inside your Merkaba, imagine this Merkaba around you spinning, and you meditate, and you can, help to heal yourself, heal your body. And again, if you astral project when you sleep or anything like that, maybe you want to imagine yourself surrounded in a Merkaba when you are asleep, so that, any negative entities that may be in the spirit realm cannot affect you. Because I was just listening to a video of the House of Oshun, and she was saying how even energies in the spirit realm are getting disrespectful, just like people, on Earth. So I've never been one to consciously know if I've ever astral projected or not, but I may have, because look, you are star seeds. Afro people, we come from the star system Sirius B, I believe. A lot of us do. We got the Nagas, and we also have what's the other? We have the Nagas. Those are like, um, the serpent people. Wow. And I'm just kind of making this connection, like literally right now. In Christianity, they say the serpent came in and deceived Eve, but I really feel that perhaps it was, people of the Naga planet coming to help them to get out of bondage, because I don't believe that, Source is going to punish you for one mistake that you make, or for wanting to seek knowledge, and they say, Source or God loves you like a child. Like, would you punish your child for the rest of their lives, knowing that they have just come here to Earth? They're fresh, they're just learning things, and they do something you told them not to do. Are you going to punish them for the rest of their lives and curse their kids and generation to come? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not even a parent, So I'm feeling like that the God of certain Bible or religious texts is a co-opted God. It kind of makes me think of the book of Eli. That government official, that man wanted the Bible, that book, so bad, because he knew that that book was tied to the DNA of the people. But again, there's lies. The only way a lie can be successful is if it's mixed with the truth. And so each religion is basically religious text with man-made inserted things to brains wash and program the minds of that people, because each religious text has different little things in it that is a waste of time when it comes to spirituality, if you ask me. A lot of little dogma things to keep you cursing yourself, because we are souls having a human experience. And how can we really do what we came here to do on earth, have a human experience, if there's so many rules and regulations and dogmas and things that people are saying, or scripture that makes us to suppress being those human emotions and human urges. So I mean, I pulled these cards out many times, and we are getting straight, I feel like, spirit messages. So the Starseed card, it says here, self. This is about you getting in tune with your true and authentic self. It says memories and identity. Okay, the next card out is the Flower of Life. And this shows how, there's so many different aspects of living in the 3D world. Different, but we're all connected. We're all one. Right? And this card speaks of inspiration, awe, and dreams. So it just shows us that we're connected and we're one. And then I was just talking about religion, but it's based off of this. Okay, the tree of life. All religions come from this. for the most part. And even this Kabbalah Tree of Life, it's plagiarism from the Kemetic Tree of Life. I wish I had the book right next to me. Usually, boom, I do. So this book is The Kemetic Tree of Life by Muwatta Ashby. And if you can look on here, doesn't that look similar to that? This is the true, authentic tree of life, okay? This is the co-opted one. But again, it takes truth. And I hadn't really done much study on the Kabbalah Tree of Life to see, you know, how it works out mathematically or the formula of it. But it definitely is a copy of this, you know. So get this book if get this book if you can, and do the study of it, you know. And at the end of the day, even this symbol of the flower of life, of how everything is connected and everything is one. And if you notice here, it even has the chakras, you know. It refers to some of the chakras as well. So everything, family, everything comes from the Afro people. The Egyptians, the only reason why, you know, Christianity has the Egyptians as a negative entity in the Bible is because they want to turn you away from what's going to empower you. They want to keep you away from what's going to empower you. The reason they put Kemetic names on terrorisms like ISIS, ISIS is the Greek name for Aset, which is the all-powerful mother. I have her statue up there, but I cannot get up right now. You know, she's the original Black Madonna. And if you know about the Black Madonna, if you go into any Catholic church and go into the Pope's office, there's the Black Madonna. Because Black women, you are the mother of this world, this earth. You know? And so maybe you sent a Naga into that Garden of Eden because you was trying to free them from you know, getting stuck in this cycle of reincarnation because you are blocking, you know, your inner knowledge. You're straying from your path, right? Wow. And look, the last card out is the Syrians A. There's Syrians A and there's Syrians B. And this card says artistic integrity and honesty. I just posted a video on my YouTube, and I'm just going to say this. Afro people, this is not your war. There was a man on YouTube that spoke about the war and talking about, well, I don't know who to shoot because everybody looks like me. They're blonde hair and blue eyes, and they have all this sympathy for, you know, people that look like them. But when it came to us, Black Lives Matter or anything like that, there was nobody stepping up for us. There was nobody speaking up for us. And the ones who did, like I said, here in Dallas, I know there was a lot of people were saying it was a white people down there marching. Let them march. You know, it's basically going to help them because it's going to help them to clear some of the karma on their bloodline. because I was just watching this episode of Star Trek the other day, and it was so deep, and I wanted to record some of the scenes from it, and I may still do that. I definitely plan to do that, but the Galactic Federation had made a treaty with the Kardashians, and that's so funny. The Kardashians was another planet system, and they made a treaty, and in that treaty, one of the planets were handed over to the Kardashians, something like that. And this planet was an Indian planet. So one of the ladies that represented the Federation came to the Star Trek commandership captain and told him about the mission. And he was saying, well, no, isn't these the North American Native Indians who were forced from their home by politics? And she was like, yeah, but we still gotta go, this, that, and the third. You have to remove them. Hopefully you can do it peacefully. If not, you have to do so by any means necessary. And so he goes, he speaks to the people. And the Indian chief spoke to the commander and was like, I want to know more about your ancestry, your history, your family, because the more you know about your adversary, the better. You need to know as much about your adversary as possible to be able to reason with them if need be. And so later on in the show, there was this young man, he was acting out, and someone came, an energy, a being came to him in the form of an Indian, showed him a vision about how, and he was, like I said, it was acting out, going off on everybody. But the moral of that story is when he sat down with the Indian chief within their sacred area around the fire, he had a vision. He saw his father, and his father said, this is the end of your journey. Stop trying to be like me. My journey isn't for you. Because at this time, this kid was, going to, the academy school for, the Star Trek Enterprise to follow in his father's footsteps. And his father said, no, you got to find your own way. You got to find your own way. And at the end of the day, the ancestors in this reading, I'm feeling like it's telling us the same thing. It's like that old way of religion or whatever. You got to find your own way. And that's basically what he did. That young man, the captain was like, well, you need to do this. And as long as you wear that uniform, you will follow commands. Because while he was there getting his vision, the Kardashians came in, and they weren't supposed to come in for a few more, weeks or so, until while, the Enterprise was trying to negotiate with the Indian people to leave peacefully to help them to find another planet. But, so the Kardashians came to survey the space to see what was going to be left behind when the Indian people leave. And the Indians like, no, this is not your space. This is our territory. And basically they started to revolt against the surveyors. And that started a whole ordeal. And so the Enterprise stepped in and was like, we still are, working. Look at this, the Nagas came out. And the Nagas card says, lovers, erotica, sensuality. But I'm sure this deck was created by, someone of this color. That being said, throughout all of history, serpents are known for their wisdom, right? Look, the book is right here. I knew I had it. This is the Return of the Serpents of Wisdom. And this is by Mark Amaru Pinkham, Pinkham. You know, it has some information here about the Kriya Yoga, immortality through breath control. I'm gonna read this right quick because there was another reading I had that spoke about just breathe and how breathing exercises. This is something that we need to do at this time. I feel that to incorporate, you know, in our daily lives, to do breathing exercises whenever we can think of it. You know, something is better than nothing, and hopefully as you do it consistently, this is something that you will keep going. But it says Kriya Yoga or Vasi Yoga, i.e. the science of breath control, is based upon the ancient yogic philosophy, which maintains that each incarnate soul, and let me pause right here to say that, you know, massage and yoga, there's even Egyptian yoga. Okay, I have an Egyptian yoga book as well. So if people want to say, okay, well, this is, you know, Middle Eastern knowledge, know that it all came from Afro people. Egypt is part of Africa, period. They wanted to try to change it to make things seem like, oh, it came from Middle East, from the Middle Eastern people. It's ancient Afro people, okay? Massage, there's hieroglyphics of the Egyptian people giving each other massages. That came from us, from our people, from Afro people. So all of this stuff. The Tower of Babel, I feel, is when, you know, that's when we separated, and each, you know, different people took a piece of the puzzle. And that's why I always like to use the analogy of the puzzle when it comes to spirituality. When you just have one piece of the puzzle, you can't see the whole picture. You got to explore and begin to put the pieces together, and then you will see, you know, the larger picture. But anyway, it's based upon an ancient yogic philosophy which maintains that each incarnate soul is allotted a certain number of inhalation and exhalations over the course of a lifetime. Once this number has been exhausted, the physical body dies. Therefore, in order to live longer or develop an immortal physical body, a yogi needs to slow down the rate of breathing or suspend the breath indefinitely. When complete cessation, cessation of the breath is accomplished, a yogi becomes immortal and a master of Vasi Yoga. I didn't know that. You know, that's enlightening, that we're allotted a certain number of inhalation and exhalation, and slowing down the breath will, you know, lengthen your years or even make you immortal. Okay, it says through breathing exercises promulgated by Babaji's school of Kriya Yoga, a yogi gradually learns to suspend the breath for greater and greater periods of time. And that also, because I'm becoming more fit now, and I don't work out at all. My body is better than it has ever been. And I don't work out. I'm a massage therapist, so I really know the benefits of massage. It truly is a fountain of youth when it's done correctly and with intention and with detail. And I'm very detailed with my work. You know, I really feel like I figured out the body. So I'm able to heal and reverse a lot of things just through massage, through releasing the trigger points in my body so that blood can flow, because the healing is in the oxygen and nutrients in the blood, you know. And so what trigger points do, they shorten, stiffen, and weaken the body. And when you think about old age, what do you notice? They get shorter, they become stiffer, and the muscles begin to atrophy. That's because there's trigger points blocking the blood flow. And so it's not getting the sustenance it's need. It's, you know, it's distorted and, it's twisted. Those muscles are just twisted all around. That's why you need to release the trigger points and realign, allow the body and the bones, the muscles, the nerves to realign. Because usually most people's shoulders are turned in, their hips are turned in. That's why I can go on for hours when I speak about massage. But let's continue with this breath energy here, and then I need to get through these cards here because I got shit to do. I got places to go, and I'm not gonna have time to take care of what I need to take care of. It says, when complete cessation of the breath is accomplished, the yogi becomes immortal. I'm just going to read this last paragraph. Through breathing exercises promulgated by Babaji's School of Kriya Yoga, learns to suspend greater time. These techniques cause the breath or prana, which is chi, energy, to circulate in such a way as to clear out all the 72,000 energy channels or nadis within the dragon body, and therefore transform the physical vehicle into a super efficient conduit for the universal life force, chi, universal life force. Eventually, the kundalini is awakened. Its seat is within the dragon body, and entry and exit points for the prana other than the nose and mouth, such as the chakras and the extremities of the spine, become fully functional. Let me read that one more time. Eventually, the kundalini is awakened. Its seat is within the dragon body, and entry and exit points for the prana is the nose and the mouth, such as chakras in the extremities of the spine, such as the chakras and the extremities of the spine become fully functional. In this way, Vasi Yoga succeeds in reaching the stage of permanent cessation of breath, and the goal of Kriya Yoga, immortality, is achieved. So I just opened this book to this. Wasn't that some wisdom for your ass? This is the book, The Return of the Serpents of Wisdom. So, maybe they were coming to bring Adam and Eve the knowledge of, how to become immortal. Because maybe they predicted this negative energy coming in to try to brainwash them and make them believe they're not as powerful as they were. Because in evolving, in spirituality, we believe in the Christ self, that Christ energy rising up out of you and being in the energy of love. Love is the only real thing. So that's all we need to focus on. With the Nagas here, it says lovers, erotica, sensuality, and then it came out clarifying the Vesica, Pisces, and this is divine feminine, birthing, and fertility. This is the balance of that divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Okay, so this is, spirit needs us to get into an energy of unconditional love, but first it has to begin with self. Spirit wants us to be bold about our autonomy and free will. Bold about the fact that we can manifest the life that we want, and that we don't have to follow or depend upon anyone. Look at that, the golden ratio. It says here, beauty, nature, patterns. And then below that is the earth element. Spirit wants us to get back out in the earth element, practice these breathing exercises of just slowing down the breath. Because you remember, you exercise and you breathing fast. That's why they promote that, because they want you to use up all your breath. Yeah, I just learned that today. So in this moment, All right, so I did pull out some clarifiers, so let's just go into the clarifiers on top of the cards that's out. So the Merkaba came um, out, and it was clarified by the Oros Boros, in which is represents eternity, infinity, eternal, and past life. It says the Merkaba, it says here movement, long distance travel, and excitement. So Spirit wants us to get in tune with our past lives as well, you know. And if you do go into that, our ancestors, the Arcturians, that guiding energy wants us to know, encase yourself within the Merkaba if you do any astral traveling. And you look at that, possibly need to astral travel to the inner to Sirius. We had Sirius A and Sirius B. Just in Sirius, I think there's Sirius C. When you astral travel to those. Keep having in your mind that you want to astral travel to those star systems because you are a star seed. And then we have here Anunnaki, and this is that energy that is about controlling conflict and drama, conflict of interest. It's the conflict of interest for Afro people to know that they are star seeds. It's white people on here, but we are Afro people are the star seeds. It's a conflict of interest for you to know who you are, to know who you were in past lives. That's why Spirit needs you to be. We have here Tixi Tin Tau, Tau, Setians. It says resilient, bold, and sassy. Spirit needs us to be bold about, flower of life, the connection of things, the connection that we have with other races, with the fact that they came from us. Recessive genes cannot birth a dominant gene. Melanin is a dominant gene, dominant, energy. So over the Kabbalah tree of life, we have the Ebens, right? Exactly. The mysteries of religion. The Kabbalah and the Eben says mystery. It says reading between the lines and intuition. Okay? So, get into the study of the tree of life, the Kemetic tree of life, the Kabbalah tree of life, and really try to get that information. That's the reason why you need to get in tune with your ancestors, so you can have them, ask them to bring you clarity when you begin to read these spiritual texts. Right here, we have third eye. The next card out is tall whites. Underneath it, it says uncertainty, distrust, guarded. Right? And it is clarified by third eye. So when it comes to different energies, races, or whatever, use your third eye. Okay? Use your third eye, your intuition. It says here, visions, manifestation, manifesting, and meditation. Ask to manifest the visions you need for maybe these people. That way when you see them in person, you know what they're about. Or even just manifesting discernment in the moment if need be. But, make sure you keep your eyes focused on unconditional love. The times may be uncertain right now. That card may be coming out to say, times are uncertain. You may distrust a lot of things. You may be guarded, maybe even against this message. But use your third eye. Meditate meditate on this message within your intuition, because it's wisdom. There's wisdom here. You know what I'm saying? This message is coming from love. Love from me, love from your ancestors. And so the next card out is Andromedans and crop circles. Okay, so the Andromedan says autonomy, free will, and manifestation. You have a choice. You have free will. Are you going to listen and take this as a sign and synchronicity here with the crop circles? It says messages, curiosity, and signs. The crop circles was the way of our ancestors trying to speak to us and contact us, because perhaps back then that third eye was so blocked off. But now the energy of Earth is shifting, and the frequency is higher. And when you vibe higher, and the highest vibrations is love and happiness. Those are the highest vibration. The veil is lifted a little bit more, and we're more in tune, more in tune with our psychic abilities. Okay, and the last card out is the Sirius A, artistic integrity and honesty. You know, that is one way that you can share your message to the world. Whatever wisdom you get, whatever mysteries you find out, you can creatively put it maybe in a painting, creatively put it in a song. It's clarified by the mantis being. And the praying mantis, I remember that energy came to me while I was at the park. A praying mantis actually landed on my things, and its message is about being still and trusting and having faith. And it says enigma, elusive, and sensitive. So you may be, you know, like I said, a Syrian energy, really in tune with your artistic abilities, integrity, and honesty. You know, you may be a very sensitive being, and that's powerful at this time, because that makes you more receptive to the energies of spirit, especially when you go outside and ground yourself in the earth element, right? Excuse me. During this time where we have the grays tall here that's underneath the earth element, that speak of utilitarian, organized, and intimidating. While we have all this intimidating energy around us, but baby, the next card out is the Galactic Federation. And of course, Star Trek, like I said, is a TV show, and I don't feel like they have a lot of things right, and they, you know, TV, you can't really believe it's rigged, okay? So the way they picture the Galactic Federation, let me go ahead and show you how, let you know how that Star Trek episode ended. Long story short, look here. Long story short, they didn't. The Kardashians was about to, you know, get their guys and ready to start fighting. And just like the Starship Enterprise said, if y'all start fighting right now, we're gonna have to fight you back. Dude said, "Is that a threat?" He said, "No, it's a fact. Those are my orders. We hadn't completed our mission here." And so they were on a ship that he was about to call his boys in, the Kardashians, and captain was, and the chief told the captain, let's backtrack a little bit, that he knew that he wasn't going to force his people out of their land, and that, you know, there was going to be a resolution. He told him this before all this drama happened. And he also told him, as you know, when they were having a conversation about his family lineage, that there was blood on his family bloodline for what, you know, they had done in the past, when they had pretty much did the same thing to another group of people. But he said, you were sent to us for a reason. You were put over this mission for a reason, and you're going to help us. And he's like, how can I help you? My mission, my orders are to do this, blah, blah, blah. They split. And so he was like, you know, you're not going to do this because you're here to clear your bloodline. And so back to when the drama was about to happen, and, you know, they was going, you know, about to get into it, the captain was like, yo, you don't want this smoke or whatever. Let's try to give us some more time. We can handle this peacefully. And so long story short, the Kardashian was like, I lost, the captain of the Kardashian was like, I lost 2 sons in a war. I don't want to lose my last son. So he called him back, and eventually the captain sat down with the chief and the Kardashians, and they came to the agreement that, you know, you stay here. My people, not long as y'all don't bother us, we not gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying? And so the chief was like, I told you, Captain. I told you were sent to us to clear your bloodline, and you've done that by helping us to negotiate this deal to stay where we are. But anyway, long story short, the Galactic Federation is here. Collaboration, meeting, and community, and let me read to you the Galactic Federation, but before I do that, the card underneath that is the vegans. That is another people, and they were all about family. They solitude, independent, and peace. They were all about peace. There was no war, none of that. Venusians, love. this it's time to be in this energy of love. You know, we have the Palladians here. In this card, it speaks of unconditional love and excitement. The vegans was here before the Palladians and all of that. And then we have the Alpha Saturnian here is foresight, planning, and strategy. Right? So we need to just be in those high vibrations. Like I said, joy and happiness are the highest vibrations. We need to stay in those high vibrations. Follow the guidance that our ancestors are giving us, to call on them so that they can, you know, fight the fight that needs to be fought. Because everything happens spiritually before it comes down onto earth. As above, so below. So, you know, this is arming ourselves and our ancestors to be able to fight for us. So, yeah, I think I'm going to end that right there, because I'm not going to have time to get ready for what I need to get ready for. So I hope that helped in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I love you all, and until next time, peace.